Okay, just taken delivery of my Atlas Quickbay7000. I did a bit of research. This looked like the sturdiest of the portable lifts. There's a few out there for about 12 or 1300. I didn't like the idea of going underneath them. This one was a bit pricey. Effectively you get less for your money compared to a lift that you install. But to my mind, I love the portability. I can put it under in this bay, I can drag it over to the other bay, I can drag it outside in the summer. The other downside is it only lifts about 4 feet, but as you can see I don't have much space, so I'm okay with that. So I did a bit of research on the internet. When I looked at this, I looked at a couple of videos of people receiving it and unpacking it, and I really appreciated them, so I'm making one here. So I'll take a few videos as I go and let you know how it looks. So I got all the parts out. Blocks, wheels to go with the one end. The other end is hoisted around with that sort of hook there and those wheels, so it is actually maneuverable. These are the run-on plates where the wheels drive over it, hose, instructions, there's the unit. It is really well built. I mean, it's heavy. This stuff is heavy. And that is what I have left. That thing is, oh my God, it's about £1,000, I think. I cannot budget. So I got to get it off that pallet and turn it around. My guess is, I think I'm going to cut the pallet sort of here. Try and jack up this side somehow and pull the pallet out. Cut the pallet in half and then slide this pallet away. This half of the pallet away. Let this then fall to the floor. Then I'll have to jack this side up and pull this part of the pallet away. That's my plan, so I'm going to get a saw. Anyway, let you know how I get on. So, an update. I did chop the pallet in half. As you can see, I used a scissor jack in there and I jacked up that half of the jack, of the scissor lift, and I slid out half of it. Now, I've got the jack under it. This thing is solid as hell. I mean, this is a big piece of kit. I'm really pleased with it. But I got the jack under it and I can't get the jack out. So, there are these wheels. They can't be put in, they go in here. So, this, the wheel goes in here, but can only be slid in when the jack's raised. So, I'm going to raise the jack, slide the wheels in, lower the scissor ramp down and have it sit on the wheels. Alright, I've connected that, the airline. I've connected those. I came over here, I had to take the shroud off, I had to call them. I thought that somehow that's where the hydraulic lines should go, but that's the emergency emergency pressure release system. It goes here. This was not indicated in the manual, it was not clear. There was a rubber bung, a black rubber bung in there, like that, which you just pick out with your fingers and then you put that in there. Down here, there is the airline. Then there's two places it could go. There's there and there's there. I'm guessing because that one's close, it's that one. I called the guy and he told me about that, and I'm just assuming that. I don't want to call him back. I think it's probably good. So I poured 1 gallon of oil in. That got me up to about there. Probably now I start pumping, I'm going to use a lot of that, so I'm going to keep an eye on that, and it'll probably go down, and I'll have to refill it. So I wired up the plug, although that took some looking up because the wiring colour scheme wasn't familiar to me. But anyway, I wired that up, I connected it all up, and I raised it. And I took the jack out of the one side, the scissor jack, this thing. But now it won't go down. Oh, I raised it and I put a wheel in here, that wheel, with the view that as you lower it down, that wheel pokes through that slot and it takes the weight of the thing. I've got to take that piece of wood out so that the other wheel has somewhere to go, but I can't lower it. It's got no weight on it. He just sits there and goes down so imperceptibly slow. I'll be here for an hour. So, I'm going to remove this piece of wood. I'm going to put the jack under there, lift it up, and slide out the pallet. At least I've got the pallet out. And I feel I'm making some progress. Okay, so where am I at? Got it wired, got it plugged in, raised it up successfully, and no, it won't come down. I raised it up to put the feet, the wheels in, so that when it came down, it would take its own weight. But I can't get it down. I thought the air locking devices are stuck, so I called the help. They told me that the air line, this one, that comes from the jack should be attached in there. There, not there. Well, wish they'd have said that in the instructions. Don't know what that one's for. Maybe a gas air escape or something. But either way, I did that. I've jacked it all the way up. The guy on the phone at technical support wasn't the technical support guy, he was the sales guy, and he helped me a little bit, but he couldn't help me at all, so I can't get the thing down. So I got the jack down. I did that by putting blocks in there to lift up the lock, and then it lowered down. I realized I needed air supply into here, and I called them up and they said no, that's where the air supply goes. I got to plumb in air to there, which I will do, and then I'll be able to release those locks by an air supply. But in the absence of that, I put those wedges in, it fell down, which is perfect. I jacked up the front at this bit using my jack, and I put those dollies underneath, and then I've jacked up the back, but of course you can't jack up the back and then let it down to the wheel level because you can't get the jack out. So I did a nice ingenious thing where I slotted this in, sort of 2 levels against here, and then I just picked that out and the whole thing fell down nicely onto its own casters. So now it's running on its casters down there, you can see, not very well, but it's running on its casters down there, and it's got dollies on the front, and I should be able to move it. Next task. There's my Egyptian engineering to be able to take these out. And I'll take that one out. And making sure I don't fall on any cables. And then take this out. Well, this one's not working so well. There we go. No feet, well, feet involved but heavy boots, no fingers involved, it's in place. That must not be underestimated. Actually, I think that's stuck there. So now I'm just going to get the jack in there, put it under this bit and lift those bits of wood out. Success. I'm in. I don't have air yet, so I just got those little wedges down there, if you can see those. Those wedges, I put those in instead of the air valves here until I get the air plumbed in. But it's all working. Up. Oh, we've got to turn it on. To the top. Won't come down unless I go and put those wedges in. But not very easy if you look at the instructions. So hopefully someone will look at this video and learn from what I learned. Which is, this thing weighs a ton, and yeah, it takes some really thinking about to put it in, but now I can do the brakes on my Jaguar because they're in by the differential and not on the outside.